Yo, 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 what's up, Hivers? Back with another GeneTalksTunes music post. I am going to post some information, some additional information. I'm going to keep this a little shorter than usual. I just feel like Hive really for vlogs, and there are successful accounts that do vlogs, but doing the real long ones where you're really digging in, it just doesn't seem like people are that into it. And I get it, because I think Hive is kind of more blog with a B based, where people don't necessarily feel like clicking videos unless it's, a song, posted and a music post or something. So I'm going to keep this a little short, but I'm going to post some more information on the band and the album I'm going to discuss below at the very, very bottom of the post. So go check that out if you did not get enough. But so it's actually been a while since I've done one record for a 90s Friday. By the way, it is 90s Friday for May 23rd. Can you believe it? It's going to be June 1st, 2025 in a week or so. 8 days or, yeah, how many days are in May? 31, right? 31 indeed. So, yeah, it's crazy. June 1st is here in like 8 days, 9 days. The time just flies. It's pretty wild. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about an underrated record, one that got some minor play on MTV and alternative radio, but really became more of an iconic record after the band broke up. The band is Failure. The album is their third and their final album before they got back together in the last decade. 1996's Fantastic Planet. Really cool album cover. Makes me think of Forbidden Planet, the 1950s movie. But just kind of a cool vibe, cool. I don't have the vinyl, but it'd be a really cool vinyl cover. Definitely a cool album cover. The band put out their first record in 1992, the album Comfort. It was produced by the great Steve Albini of Bush, Razorblade Suitcase fame. The first full-length Pixies record he did In Utero by Nirvana. It's a very live, not a big production, but a very interesting, unique sound. You can definitely hear a Steve Albini record. And for 1992, you'd think, an alternative kind of, alternative-ish rock record would have gotten more exposure, but they really didn't. And then they had a follow-up in 1994, the album Magnified. I actually like the first album second best. The second album third best. It's really not my favorite, to be totally honest. And I think the album Fantastic Planet 1996 is just a whole other level. And so many bands talk about this album being one of their favorite records. You'll hear Matt Pinfield talk about it being one of his favorite records. And a lot of people discovered it after they broke up. So it was late 1997. The band sold just over 100,000 copies of this album. And apparently 2 of the 4 band members were into heroin and were just really gone. And it was a total mess. Apparently their live shows were really suffering. And the label wanted to put out another record. They were, they kept selling a little bit more. And due to the drug abuse issues, the band broke up. And yeah, really unfortunate because they were getting better. I mean, this style of alternative rock was definitely falling out of favor as it went into the late 90s, but might have been a really good record. I mean, this one is pretty interesting and pretty cool. And it's so, I guess there's something about a band going out on top, but when it's a band that didn't make it full commercial mainstream success, it's kind of a bummer. Especially the reasoning. When it's a bigger band and they go out on top, that's a little bit cooler. There's just so many bands. The lead singer ended up doing a lot of production and co-writing with a lot of other bands. That's what he did for a living after the band broke up. He was in a band called OK, which had an album on Epic Records, a little bit of a poppier sound. And there was one other band he was in. Where'd it go? I took a screenshot, but now I can't find it. But anyway, I'm going to bring you 5 tunes for 5 Tune Friday on 90s Friday. And I'm just going to pick 5 tunes from the album that I personally like. It opens with Saturday Saviour, one of my favorite songs on the album. Then I'm gonna go in order and just pick my favorite 5 songs. I'm gonna bring you Sergeant Politeness, which is probably my 5th favorite out of the list. Then track 4, Smoking Umbrellas. That's probably my 3rd favorite. And then going down the track list, another Space song, which is probably in my top 3. And then the song Stuck on You, which was probably the most successful single. There's a music video for it. It did get some small play on MTV. It did get a little bit of alternative rock radio play, not a ton. I guess enough to be considered kind of a minor hit. And I'd say Stuck on You and Saturday Saviour are my 2 favorite songs. It's just an interesting, fun record. And for Bonus Jam, I'll bring you 1 song from the first 2 albums out of the trilogy. I'll bring you 1 from the first album that Steve Albini produced from the album Comfort. I'm not sure what song I'm going to pick yet. But for the second Bonus Jam, I'm going to I'm going to bring you the song Frogs from the album Magnified. And if you like these tunes, check out the full record. It's definitely an album you could throw on cover to cover. Some songs are better than others, no doubt about it. But it's just one of these records that, a lot of people discovered in the late 90s, 2000s, after the band broke up. A band like the Pixies kind of had the same thing happen, where they didn't get mainstream success. And then in the 2000s, they were selling out like 4,000 or 5,000 people venues because just so many people discovered them. Because they influenced so many bands, and so many bands talk about them being, their favorite band. Kurt Cobain was obsessed with the Pixies, definitely heavily influenced by them, probably more heavily influenced by the Pixies than any other band. And there's a bunch of bands that, speak very highly of Failure and kind of say the same thing. There's actually kind of a cool documentary about it, which I'll probably link at the bottom of the post. So check that out. And that's about it. I think keeping these under 10 minutes is probably, the way to go for the Hive audience. I am going to leave these public on YouTube. I have not been doing that. I usually put them as unlisted and just use YouTube as a hosting platform. So this has always been a Hive exclusive. But just for giggles, I'm going to see if I get any attention. I'm going to start putting a little something in the in the description box. I've been leaving that blank, sometimes just with a Hive post link. So if you're on YouTube, do me a favor, leave a comment. And if you randomly found this somehow, and definitely check out the Hive link in the description box to get the full post. I had to put a very abbreviated version for the YouTube description, just because it didn't make sense to put a bunch of photo links that won't show up. So definitely check out the Peak D link at the bottom, and get the full effect of the post, so you can see the pictures and stuff. But I'm curious, if you did find this on YouTube, leave me a comment and let me know, and give me any suggestions. I just figure, what the heck, I'm posting it anyway. I might as well just leave it, public. See if anyone comes by randomly. But I love you guys. I hope you enjoy the tunes. It's been a while since I focused on one band or one record. And happy 90s Friday. I love y'all. Later.